Talk us through the game, please, where you feel it was lost.
Yeah, we were happy with going on half time, and the second half we just didn't get anything really. Just got no momentum, no real opportunity to play. We got nothing at all from any sort of kick returns, whether it was us or them, and that was disappointing. And we've probably given away some penalties. In fairness to them, they scrummaged pretty well in the second half, drove a lot, and got some reward from that. So it was, like I said, we were happy with the way that the first half had gone, and we felt going into half time that we'd carried well, we'd got some forward momentum, and we just didn't achieve that at all in the second half.
How does this result set up next Saturday's third test?
Yeah, well, the players obviously very disappointed, but next Saturday's a cup finals, and that's the way we've got to look at it and prepare, and a few things we've got to tidy up in terms of our game and things, but it's 1-1, and they put a huge amount of emotion into that game, South Africa did, and so so we've got that chance next week to hopefully tie the series up.
Can I ask you what you made of the video released on social media by Rassie Erasmus during the week, and whether you felt that had any influence on the officials today?
I just thought it was pretty interesting, and there's been enough said by that. I won't be going on social media this week, and I think I don't really want to comment on that because I want to let other people take care of that. So the last thing that we need is a war of words and things, and being accused of doing certain things. So it's amazing to me how the narrative changed with regard to the TMO. I mean, I didn't make one comment leading up to the game last week on the TMO, and yet I was accused of questioning his integrity. So that's the messages that they were giving out. So we'll just keep things to ourselves and go through the proper channels when we deal with the referee, and talk to the referee after reviewing the game, and then hopefully get some feedback from him, and us give him some feedback as well.
Yeah, thanks, Warren.
Gareth? Okay, Gareth, let's go to Murray then.
Hey Warren, can I just ask for your opinion on the Ches and Colby yellow card? Did you feel that was a fair sanction?
Like I said, I'm not going to comment on the referee's decisions. I mean, we'll have our meeting with the referee this week and see what the assessors come back with in terms of their decision, and then get some, find out what it was. It didn't look great from where I was, but he decided it was a yellow card decision.
Can I just ask you about selection then for next weekend? Like, did you feel some guys maybe didn't put their hand up as much as you would have liked, and will you consider a few changes? Yeah,
that's something it's very early on now. It's only just the game's only just finished, so it's making sure that we do a proper review of the game and look at individuals. Do we need to make some changes? Like I said, I was happy with that first half performance and thought we were getting some reward out of that, and we just didn't get any bounce of the ball, didn't get anything in that second half, and to be able to create some momentum, it was the game was very, very slow in terms of how often the clock was stopped and how slow it was, and they did a good job managing that by slowing the game down, and which was frustrating for us because it was difficult to get that sort of rhythm in the second half because of how much it was stop-start.
Cheers.
Warren, it's James. I think you just mentioned the stop-start nature of the game. I worked out each half took 65 minutes. What are you going to do to try and inject a little bit more pace into the game next week and play on your fitness levels a little bit more?
Yeah, the referee was continually talking to them about trying to speed the game up and keep it moving. He was trying to stop the clock. So yeah, that's something that we'll probably look at raising next week in terms of how we get some more tempo in the game, and that every stoppage isn't an injury stoppage, which we seem to have, particularly in that second half. So yeah, it's difficult to change that, and you've just got to hopefully, the captain working with the referee, and he was talking to Ben Ellenwin in terms of trying to speed the game up and keep it moving. But it was very, very stop-start.
And one last one for me, the underfoot conditions seemed very, very difficult at times, but nevertheless, I think there was only one carry from the Lions of over 10 metres. Is that something, again, you're going to be focusing on next week, is getting some more carry?
Yeah, look, we were pretty happy with that first half in terms of the carrying and stuff, and the ground conditions are difficult. Even there was a scrum penalty against Tyg Byrne for going down, but when you look at the replay, it's not that he's collapsed the scrum or lost his bind. His feet have just gone completely under him, and you can see the sand and the grass go from that. And sometimes that happens in a game. It is difficult. The way they defend and come up and rush up is quite tough. There were a couple of opportunities where we probably should have put the ball through the hands and looked to exploit that, but and we'd shortened them up on a few occasions. Even on sometimes penalty advantages, it's they did a good job every time we had penalty advantage on not giving us that chance to play by just slowing the ball down and going back to the penalty. So we've just got to be aware of that and make sure that we try and take advantage of those situations.
Thanks, mate. Onward and upward.
Yes.
Hi, Warren. Commiserations. There's a perception out there already, and it's probably going to grow, that what Razzie Erasmus did this week worked, and it's one of the reasons they won the game. Do you think there's a dangerous precedent that was set over the course of the last week, and that we could end up in a kind of a lawless kind of area where coaches are coming out doing their own videos, putting pressure on match officials, and that the game could go to a pretty dangerous and interesting place? Yeah,
I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, we've got systems and processes in place, and hopefully World Rugby does look at that in terms of making sure that everyone follows the protocols, and I think that's important because there is. We do press conferences and try and give you guys some feedback and information, and we deal with the referees and deal through World Rugby, and that's kind of the processes. I just hope it doesn't get to a situation where we end up with things on Twitter and people airing their views in that way and not through the proper channels. It's been. I found it quite strange that approach was taken, but it's definitely not something that I will get involved with, and it's important that we keep the integrity of the game up as much as we possibly can.
Just to follow up, you do have fresh legs in your squad. You've experienced players who haven't played for a couple of weeks now. How are those players, in the bubble? How have they trained? And is there potential that some of those guys might come in and make an impact, having not had any involvement in the Test series today? Yeah,
look, I said selection has been really, really tough, and there's a lot of players in the squad that it was a toss of a coin in terms of who we selected and who we didn't, and that's credit to the players and the whole squad have worked really hard, and the non-23 did a great job this week in terms of helping the players prepare, and we'll spend the next couple of days, like I said, reviewing the game and then looking at what we think is the best 23 to put out, and whether that's some fresh faces that haven't been involved in the first two games. We have got lots of options in terms of bringing guys in to give us some energy, perhaps, or some momentum as well.
Thank you.
Hello, Warren. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great. Well, were you surprised at how the aerial battle went, given how much change you got out of them in the second half last week? And you've got someone like Liam Williams, who's a bit of a specialist in your squad. Will he come into the equation next week?
Yeah, like I said, sometimes those games go like that. We got nothing out of today, and we did get a lot out of last week in terms of that aerial stuff. And we knew a lot of that was coming, and we worked on it during the week. So sometimes that just happens, and obviously Liam was disappointed, and he's one of those players that will come into contention as will others as well. Or do we put that same team out and give them a chance to redeem themselves? So I mean, those are the conversations we'll have over the next couple of days.